All right, guys, and here we are back with the Ming Dynasty of China. It is the last true dynasty in Chinese history. It will be a time where there are 6 centuries of unprecedented population growth. It is what I call China's version of Pax Romana. In this time, population is going to double. Trade and technology will be created. And it starts with this guy, Emperor Zhu Yangzheng. And early on, he was an isolationist. And he tried to keep up those traditional Chinese monopolies. But as time went on, the Chinese realizes that is not possible. And they moved to a more laissez-faire economy, where you are now no longer geared to a quota. You can sell things for a profit if you want to. That plus a massive importation of silver from places like Mexico and Peru will lead to the creation of a Senshi Bank, where you can deposit your money, get a line or a letter of credit in Shanghai, travel all the way to Beijing, withdraw your money, buy goods cheaper at the source, ship them home, and then put your money back in the bank. It was an idea they got from the Islamic traders along the Silk Road. Just like everybody else, the Ming want to do something cool. They want to build that large, symbol of power. So they don't just build a palace, they build a city, like Louis XIV building the village of Versailles, or Peter the Great, rather, building St. Petersburg. As you go into the royal palace, you go through these hallways that get narrower and narrower and narrower till you pop out into this giant throne room, and suspended in the middle of the room, looking like he's floating, is the emperor in his throne chair. And this is the stuff that we just talked about today. What helps the Ming Dynasty last for so long is the strength of their Confucian civil service test. You study for years, and if you pass the test, you get to govern a small village. As time goes on, you're evaluated and your village is running well, you get a chance to take the mid-sized market town test, the important town where goods and services are going back and forth from the rural villages all the way to the big cities. If you do good enough there, you get to take the large, ultra powerful Metropolitan Test. All of these tests were one-shot, one deals. It was ultra competitive. One person in 99 would pass, in 100 would pass the Metropolitan Test. Some guys were so broken mentally and physically, they knew they had a shot at the big time and they blew it, that they broke down. But this system builds great Confucian scholars, honest, good, true men who keep the government rolling even when there is a bad or a weak emperor, forming an unbroken chain from the emperor down to the head of the household and the tiniest village. And so here was the extent of China under the Ming Dynasty, and they begin to expand down here into Southeast Asia or over into Central Asia. And they begin to expand, and here they begin to use the tribute system as they sail around the South China Sea into the Indian Ocean as far away over as East Africa. And as the Chinese came into your territory, you were asked to supply tribute, some type of gift to the emperor. And if it was worthy, then you were admitted very easily into the Chinese Empire. If it was terrible, you were conquered, and then your people were forced into slavery. And the showcase of all of this is Chang Ho or Zheng He's fleet of 62 giant ships. There is one of Columbus's, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, and you can see Zheng Ho's fleet just dwarfed it. It was absolutely massive. And he goes around showcasing China's power. But eventually, even the mighty Ming Dynasty, The cost of the forbidden city up here is going to be too much, and his fleet will be scrapped. And at the same time, a group of Portuguese sailors will come in. They will behave so badly, they are kicked out of China. And from this time on, foreigners will be allowed in the port of Canton, known as the Cantonese System, where there was a small island where they could get off and unload their gear. And there was a gate to mainland China. Chinese could come out and trade with them. There were pubs, there were other things for the sailors to hang out in, but they were not allowed into mainland China. They had to do things by Chinese business methods and adhere to Chinese laws. And that was the cost of doing business in China at this time, the mighty and powerful Ming Dynasty. Okay guys, that's a quick review and wrap of the Ming Dynasty. Please pick one Western monarch and one Eastern monarch to help do your compare and contrast essay. We'll see you guys tomorrow.